Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a lovely pair of knit socks. These socks are a very basic sock pattern. They are from the cuff down, meaning that we'll be starting at the top of the sock, working down, working our heel, working our instep, and finishing off at the toe. Okay. The pattern that we're going to be using is a Saccio sock pattern. Okay, you'll find the pattern links in the links of the video. She also has another size that is the zippy socks. Okay, the zippy socks are a full-length sock like the ones that I've just made. Saccio socks are an anklet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to start working with your double pointed needles. Okay, double pointed needles usually come in a set of 5. We'll be working with 4 of them. You're going to be having the work on 3, and then you're going to be knitting with your 4th one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cast on our stitches. We will be casting on 40 stitches or 44 stitches if you want to make a large. Okay, I'm going to cast on 40. And we're going to cast on using the long tail cast on. Okay, so we go ahead, we're going to use 1 needle, and we're just going to cast on 40 stitches. Okay, once we have cast on our 40 stitches, then I will show you how to arrange them on the needles. Okay, we got to do 10 more. Lost one. Okay, once you have all 40 stitches on, I like to scoot them down so that they're away from the tip. That way none of them will fall off. We are going to move our stitches, and we're going to start with the edge that is away from our working yarn. So we're going to start at this end. And as if we're purling, I'm going to move over 12 stitches. And again, just as if you're purling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I'm going to scooch these down so that they're in the middle of the needle. I'm going to pick up a 3rd needle, and we're going to move over another 12. Okay, and again, I'm going to scooch these so that they're in the middle. And now we have our 3 needles, okay? The way that we join them is we're just going to put the first needle and we're going to lay it across the top, the last needle, okay? So they form kind of a triangle. Now, it's very important that we do not twist our stitches. So you want to make sure that all the little bumps, okay, the edges of your work, you can see how the one side's flat, one side's bumpy. The bumpy parts you want to have all facing up Okay. Okay. They're all going to be facing up. I like to lay the first needle, the one that's not attached to the yarn, I like to lay it underneath the other one so that this guy is attached. Now, for our first stitch only, we are going to knit with the tail and the working yarn. So you have everything arranged here. Scooch these down to the end. Okay. Insert. We're going to wrap around. And we're going to pull. Let me go insert again. Wrap around. Pull it through. And that has joined our circle. I'm going to drop the tail. Okay. Tail gets dropped. And now it says to purl 2. I'm sorry, purl 1. It's knit 1, purl 1. So we're going to go and we're going to purl. And then we're going to go back to knitting, purling. And we're going to do this until we use up all the stitches on this one needle. And it does take a little juggling to figure out how to hold the needles, so that way everything works out the way that you want it to. But eventually you will get there. Okay, if you don't quite do it on the first sock, by the second sock you will be a pro. So again, I'm just knitting all the stitches. I knit one and then I purl one. And I moved them over in even increments, so that way I would end with a purl one. Now you'll notice that the needle in my left hand is now free. Okay, so this is the needle that I'm going to now knit the next stitches with. So again, I scooch the stitches to the middle of the needle. I'm going to go ahead, I transfer my hands, and I like to place the needle that the stitches are coming off for, I place it underneath the previous needle, and then I just kind of push this one down a little bit to begin knitting. Okay, so again I'm going to knit one, then I'm going to purl one, and I'm going to do that for the rest of the row. Okay. More purling, more knitting, purling. Get some yarn. And you're going to continue this until you have another free needle. Now you want to make sure that you start your next stitches with the empty needle. Okay, if you forget and you just keep knitting, you're going to make it very difficult, because in order to go in a circle you need the flexibility of the 3 needles. So again, I take my empty needle, and then this is my last one. Okay. Purl. And it's basically you're playing hopscotch with the needles, because you're using an empty one, then you're filling it up, and then the one that you empty is going to be your next empty one, and you just keep switching the needles back and forth. Now you can certainly place a stitch marker at the beginning of your round, okay, but it's pretty easy to tell where the beginning is, because that's where your tail's going to be, and your tail won't ever change position. It'll always be in that spot. So we're going to go ahead, we're finishing up our row. Okay, we've got 2 more. And we have come, oop, I think I had 1 extra stitch, but that's okay. Okay, so we have finished. And you'll see the tail is in the middle. You're going to go ahead and you will work the desired amount of stitches in rib, the desired amount of rows. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to work a stockinette section, which means you're going to knit every single section. And you're going to work, Okay, these are the shorter socks. So this is where I'm going to end to start with my heel. But if you were working the longer socks, you would keep going until you get the desired length. And you can see pretty much when you compare them, the sassy socks will end here, and the zippy socks go all the way down. Okay? So you're going to continue that, and I will show you how to make the heel in the next episode.